The Secretary of Defense of the United States prayed for troops to have, and we are quoting directly, overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy. He invited a pastor who believes women should not vote and that secular democracy replaces God with the crowd to preach inside the Pentagon. He wrote a book calling for a new American crusade. Pete Hegseth is not running the most powerful military in human history. He is the front man. Pete Hegseth has one of the loudest mouths in Washington right now. At Pentagon press conferences, he pre-selects his questioners and assigns seats, calling only on outlets like Gateway Pundit and Turning Point USA. When a female journalist asked what Americans deserve to know about the war, he snapped, "Did you not hear my remarks?" When NBC asked how long the war might last, he called it a typical NBC gotcha-type question. When CNN questioned the administration's planning, he spent his briefing time suggesting CNN needed new ownership. His staff banned photographers from briefings after they published photos he didn't like. This is the Secretary of Defense, running a war, at a press conference. And when he is not performing for his hand-picked audience, he is in the Pentagon chapel praying for troops to have overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy. Pete Hegseth is the mouth. Follow the money to find the wallet. Pete Hegseth attends a church in Tennessee affiliated with a network founded by Pastor Doug Wilson. Wilson has preached inside the Pentagon at Hegseth's personal invitation. Hegseth said to Wilson on stage at the Pentagon, on the record, "Thank you for your leadership, your mentorship." Here is what Wilson believes in his own words. The 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote was a bad idea. Secular democracy replaces God with the crowd. Non-Christians are not qualified to hold public office. His 1996 book argued that slavery in the antebellum South involved an affectionate relationship between the races. This is not a fringe blogger. This is the man Pete Hegseth calls his mentor. The man who stood at a lectern inside the Pentagon and preached to America's military leaders. Now here is Hegseth's own record. In his 2020 book, American Crusade, he wrote, "We don't want to fight, but like our fellow Christians 1,000 years ago, we must." 1,000 years ago was the first crusade. Hundreds of thousands of people died. The stated goal was to reclaim Jerusalem from Muslims. In the same book he wrote, "Our fight is not with guns, yet." He has Deus Vult, God wills it, tattooed on his body. That was the battle cry of the Knights of the First Crusade. He has a Jerusalem cross tattoo that got him flagged as a possible insider threat and removed from his National Guard unit before Biden's inauguration in 2021. The man flagged as a Crusades extremist in 2021 is now the Secretary of Defense leading a war against an Islamic republic. Now follow the money, because while Hegseth holds prayer services and talks about crusades, the people who actually benefit from this war are reading something very different. The day the bombs fell on Iran, February 28, 2026, here is what happened on Wall Street. Northrop Grumman closed up 6%. RTX, Raytheon, closed up 4.7%. Lockheed Martin closed up 3.3%. 5 days into the war, RTX hit an all-time high. Somebody is getting paid for this war, and that somebody is not the soldier deployed on 72 hours notice, not the family watching gas prices spike, not the veteran with the hospital bill. Here is the question they do not want you asking. If Hegseth is the front man, who is running the show? The defense contractors whose stocks hit all-time highs the week the bombs fell are not reading the book of Revelation. They are reading the balance sheet. There was a time when this was done quietly. Deals made in back rooms. The people running the game at least had the decency to pretend. That time appears to be over. Maybe we got smarter and started paying attention. Or maybe they got so arrogant and greedy they stopped caring whether we noticed. Either way, the receipts are in plain sight now. The Bible is clear about the end times. No one knows the day or the hour. Jesus said he would return like a thief in the night. The instruction was not to predict it, not to hasten it, not to start a war to bring it about. The instruction was to be ready. Is Hegseth being ready? Or is he trying to start something? This channel is not anti-faith, it is anti-trick. Using God to start a war that makes other people rich is the oldest trick in the book. Subscribe, and sign up for the newsletter at wefighttheywin.substack.com. The link is in the description. J. Mercer.